The next 1 hour, we want to talk about university education, and this is not the traditional sense of university where, you carry your box, you go, you line up, admission, and then did you sign up with KUPS? Did you get a letter from KUPS? Has he told you to come? Do you have help? Different. This is basically a new way of university education in Kenya. The Open University of Kenya is an initiative of the government to basically extend access to university education. And so the government of Kenya worked very hard behind the scenes and launched the Open University of Kenya. The Vice Chancellor of that, the acting Vice Chancellor, is Professor Elijah Omwenga. He's our guest this morning. Prof, good morning.
Good morning, Eric.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Welcome to the hot seat of the Situation Room.
Thank you very much for having me.
Karibu sana. You see, just like you, even us guys are everywhere, right? You can tune into the Situation Room from Timbuktu if you so wish. Just like you can study at the Open University of Kenya if you are in Timbuktu,
correct,
if you so wish. CT will tell you, will give you the day's proverb, and of course, you know your job is to listen to the proverb and give us your interpretation of it.
Okay.
This week, he's been giving us proverbs from the Abu, give us the proper official name of this union, republic, unions.
It's the Union of the Comoros.
Just that. There's no republic, nothing.
It is a republic.
So it's called the Union of the Comoros.
Yes. I give a brief history and mention how it is that, one, if you really want to go into it, in 1 minute, it was first of all a province of the French Madagascar. That was in 1914. Then it became French Overseas Territory in 1948. Then it got internal autonomy, 22nd December 1961. Independence now from France in July 1975, and a federal republic in 1978. Now the union that we speak of, that includes Grand Comoros, Oneli, Anjouan, and Mayotte, that came in 2001. Yes, that's why we refer to it as the union.
The island now.
Visiwa hivyo zote ukiziunga zote pamoja zinaitwa nini? Union. Yes.
It's like a federacy.
Sasa wewe bwana umeelewa vizuri sana.
Haya bwana.
Right. The proverb. A chicken with beautiful plumage does not sit in a corner.
A chicken with beautiful plumage does not sit in a corner. Prof, what's your interpretation of this proverb?
What is the adjective there? A chicken with what?
Beautiful plumage.
Oh, plumage does not sit
in a corner. Yes.
Well,
adjective is beautiful.
I think the proverb is trying to express the fact that if you have a good thing, you don't have to keep it somewhere and let it rest there. It will go out there and introduce itself. It will have an opportunity to express the beauty, because beauty is shared, beauty is appreciated. Beauty is not just for oneself, for the chicken alone. It's also in the eyes of the beholder.
Yes.
I'm looking at it is from the context of the Open University. We are here.
Perfect.
That we've been established. We are that beautiful chicken that is not sitting somewhere in a corner waiting, but coming out so that people are able to appreciate that beauty and share in the goodness of it.
That is very well put. In fact, that is exactly where my mind was. I was thinking something as wonderful and something as beautiful as an open university is something that should be talked about openly.
Yeah. So Prof opened the doors to the Open University of Kenya for us. What is it?
Thank you so much, KTN and Standard Group, for this opportunity on Spice FM. My name, as already mentioned, is Elijah Omwenga. I hold a PhD in computer science, an area I cherish very much. And right now, I'm holding brief as the Vice Chancellor in acting capacity at the Open University of Kenya. The university was established last year, 23rd of August, through a charter by the head of state, His Excellency the President, under Section 24(1)(b) of the Universities Act. That's a very important section because it sets the university apart. It states that the government shall establish an open university for strategic interest. An open university, in this case, specialized university for strategic interest. And with that act and the charter given on the 3rd of August, we were given the platform, both legally and administratively, to establish the university. And so far, we have admitted students and we are running. The university is fully established. The Open University is based in Konza, Technopolis. For purpose of administrative management, we have a presence there. But its operations, delivery and management is online. It is arguably the first fully fledged online university in the region, but of course supported by our partners through MOUs for various aspects of the practical lessons that our students must go through. The university's vision is an innovative university for inclusive prosperity. That vision is very intentional. Inclusive here is the keyword, because one of the principles of the Open University, and indeed open universities in general, is to ensure everybody has a chance to have higher education. As you're aware, education is a right, and even Article 43, Article 55, 56 of the Constitution, we talk about inclusivity all the way to the marginalized, the youth empowerment and others. The second very important framework is that of flexibility, which is a very distinguishing feature of the Open University of Kenya. Flexibility in terms of admission and also stepping in and stepping out. Flexibility in terms of the mode of payment of fees, which is very supportive to those who don't have all the fees all at once. And the third very important principle of the Open University is access. We have invested technology in the range and like of what I'm seeing here at Spice FM. The latest state-of-the-art technology is what you're using to deliver the programs and enable our students. That's the third very important principle. And also, we are an affordable university. It's one of the principles of Open University. It has to address those who are not very endowed materially, and the university, because it is for strategic interest, is actually a project of the government. It's within the better model to ensure everybody everywhere in the world, within the country and beyond, is able to afford university education for strategic interest, the programs which are of impact to the economy and the government. And number 5 is quality. In all these things, we ensure that the university eschews the principles of highest levels of quality. So those are the 5 principles that underpin the Open University of Kenya, the virtual university truly committed to innovation and excellence.
Prof, what is the idea, the concept behind Open University? Because if it's about e-learning, if it's about virtual access to virtual learning or distance learning, that is already available in various, all the other universities can do that.
Yeah.
So why have a university that's solely focusing on virtual learning?
Very good. I think it's not a question of virtual learning, maybe just to rephrase. The Open University is much bigger than the concept of its virtual mode. Virtual learning is just a delivery mechanism. The knowledge is the same. The professors are same but highly trained, and virtuality, the online platforms, just a mode of instruction. Here we are focusing on things like inclusivity, where we recognize prior learning, students or learners who didn't have the grade, for example, C+, which is the cutoff under the COOPS model of admission, those students are having the opportunity now to go to higher education programs, because if they have filled the gap that will enable them have the attitude, the skills, and their capabilities to do the rigors of academic programs at university level, we admit them so long as they can prove that ever since they had their D or their C, they have made up through a short course lasting about 3 months, 2 or 3 of them, through a diploma, through work experience, through experience in the actual areas which are relevant to the program that you are pursuing. So 7 different criteria which are unique to the Open University of Kenya and nowhere else.
I see.
That is one of the distinguishing features, inclusivity, bringing everybody who has the interest, the desire to have higher education, and not limited by just one exam where one didn't make it at that particular point in time.
Let's talk about that a little bit more.
Yes.
I mean, because that sounds that, it's a completely different shift here.
Yes.
We know that to get into university in Kenya, the Commission for University Education and all the universities will require you to have met a certain criteria. You must go up to Form 4, or secondary education. You must sit an exam, and you must score a certain grade and above to get admitted to public or private university in Kenya. And you're saying now for Open University, those are not the same rigorous requirements that are required, that are set.
They are the ones we are using are equally rigorous.
Okay.
And they are approved by the Commission for University Education. That's the reason we were chartered.
Okay.
And I want to give you a list of those items of criteria. Number 1, to come to the Open University, you need to have a mean grade of C+ and above, just like what the rest of other universities are using, COOPS, KCSE, or you have a diploma or professional qualifications from a recognized institution, or you have a KCSE certificate or equivalent and a certificate of foundation or bridging courses from recognized institution, or Kenya Advanced Certificate of Education. I'm sure, Eric, you didn't do that. With a minimum of 1 principal and a subsidiary pass. Those of us who went through that mode of education recognize this all the time. Or evidence of KCSE certificate or equivalent and a portfolio of the recognition for prior learning. Okay. So if you have accumulated
you must have up to Form 4 education.
Well, generally, yes.
You must have Cert KCSE.
Yes, but let me finish the last one here. Evidence of certificate or equivalent and a portfolio for the purpose of recognition of prior learning, which is a policy approved by this country of Kenya, determined with respect to workplace training of 2 years, or work experience in a relevant field of 2 years, or 2 short courses lasting at least 3 months each in relevant field. Any other qualification that may be determined by the Senate, recognizing prior learning leading to equivalence of the identified criteria, experience, and skills of learners, or a bachelor's degree from an institution recognized by Senate. The reason why I cut it short to underscore this fact is that any other qualification that Senate may determine from time to time. So your question on they must have a C or other Form 4 is correct, but there is this other one here. Senate may determine from time to time others which are not necessarily listed here, and then have them approved by the Commission for University Education, which is the regulator of higher education in Kenya.
Through recognition of prior learning.
Yes, which is a policy approved last year by the government of the Republic of Kenya. And we're using that policy here to ensure that our students are not marginalized and recognizing that inclusivity.
So does this university sit in the same place as other public universities in Kenya?
Precisely, yes. We are one of the public chartered university enjoying all the benefits and also embracing all the challenges which are there at higher education like any other university. But now, as already mentioned, for strategic interests of the country, which is the five principles that I mentioned.
What is the current number of students enrolled in the Open University?
Thank you very much for that question. We are not even a year old, and we already have 10,000 students who have signed up. Signing up means expressing an interest. We see your online university, you express an interest, and then you put in all your certificates and your CV, and we select from those who have completed that process, and we have admitted 3,300 students. Out of those who have been admitted, we have enrolled. Enroll means you express you're in class, you're going through the various activities of the course, about 1,400 students. And these 1,400 students, they are now separated into semester 1 and semester 2. Within the short period of time, not even a year, we already have admitted 2 cohorts of students. The first semester ended and they did an exam. Well, we're calling them semesters, but really it is a flexible mode of way of cohorting students. And now we have a second semester, which is running with new, fresh students whom we have admitted.
Could you tell us a little bit about your fee structure?
Thank you. We, as I've already mentioned, one of the principles of Open University is affordability. The fee structure is such that it's pegged on what's existing already, and is about 1/3 of the fees that is charged in other public universities. For example, the course Data Science, Bachelor of Data Science, a very popular course, has attracted the largest number of students, and we charge 105,000 Kenya shillings per year. Most of the universities in Kenya, public universities, are charging about 300,000, others up to 400,000 for the same course. The reason why we are much affordable is, one, our infrastructure. Though the government has invested heavily on the technology we are using, is available for massification. We can have so many students for the same number of lecturers because of the technology which has enabled us to do that. Secondly, we are not investing in physical infrastructure, which is generally very expensive, but we are investing in virtual infrastructure, for example, for the virtual laboratories which students must engage with, and entering into MOUs for areas that we need practical aspect that students must go through. So that is the reason why it is much more affordable. In fact, going into the future, that fees is going to reduce when we have more students, to the tune of thousands, to the tune of tens of thousands.
And when one talks of fees in a Kenyan setting, there's always the discussion of installments.
Yes.
How many installments is one allowed to pay this 105,000 shillings in?
That's a very good question, and I want to quote the Arizona State University, which is one of our partners, and they told us one of the reasons it's one of the universities of choice in America is because of the social mobility approach. Social mobility here means tuition is paid at the end of the program. Can you imagine? That is Arizona State University, which is one of our part. At the end of the program, you come in without any fees and you pay at the end. This is to encourage and accelerate graduates into the job market. And once you're in the job market, then you can continue paying your fees. That is Arizona State University. At the Open University, we are using a somewhat similar model where students come in, you pay a small amount of fees, maybe a quarter of the fees. And once you've paid, you are allowed to continue learning, getting the resources and the source and the tuition that is required. And before you sit exam, we encourage you to have finished your exam. The installments are not limited. You can pay any amount anytime, so long as once you come in, you pay a percentage of the fees. And before exams, we encourage students to have finished their fees.
This installment that one pays when one enters,
Yes.
is it pegged to a certain figure?
Yes, it's about, in a semester of, for example, 100,000 and 5,000, which is the amount for most of the programs, in fact, almost all the undergraduate programs. Per semester, that's about 50,000 and 52,500. A quarter of that is approximately 10,500. So we are encouraging students who come in to make sure they pay about a quarter of that fees for the semester. It's about 10,000 Kenya shillings you get in, and the rest you pay in small installments. Any amount of money, 500 you drop in, 600 you drop in, 1,000 you drop in.
So upon admission, you pay the quarter.
You pay a quarter.
And then you enroll.
Then you enroll.
You begin.
And then you raise the rest in any number of installments. Our systems are so flexible that they allow you to pay from anywhere through the e-citizen platform, of course. And before exams, we encourage students to have completed their fees.
Professor Elijah Omwenga is the acting Vice Chancellor of the Open University. He's here to tell us about the university, to tell us about how you're operating. So far, you've told us 1,400 students have enrolled and they're going on with various programs. And you've told us about, as well, the flexibility of the fee payment and various other things that you're telling us, even about access.
So what kind of programs are we seeing on offer here, Prof, at the university?
Thank you for that question, Madam. The university's flagship programs include Bachelor of Data Science, which is one of those that we started with during the charter process. We have Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity and Digital Forensics. We have a Bachelor of Technology Education, Bachelor of Economics and Statistics, Postgraduate Diploma in Leadership and Accountability, and Postgraduate Diploma in Learning Design and Technology. Let me speak a little bit more about these programs. The choice was led by data, which we were given by the COOPS, the Selection for University Education body, looking at the needs out there, what the companies and other institutions need, the skills which are required. For instance, data science, we recognize that we are living in a world of high rates of generation of data, the velocity, the veracity, the volume, and all that. So that data needs to be harnessed and used in decision making. So we are producing graduates or experts with the skills to enable that to happen. We're also looking at the internet enabling us to have programs, applications, and services being run across various networks. The government of Kenya is already focusing on digitalization of its services, and therefore we are exposing ourselves to many surfaces of attack, and therefore need to develop skilled manpower to address those areas, cybersecurity, to secure our systems and ensure our digital forensics are well taken care of. We're also looking at one of the 5 pillars of the better model is micro, small enterprise, and that's the reason we're having Bachelor of Business, Economics and Business Entrepreneurship, Bachelor of Business and Entrepreneurship, that's the name, and Bachelor of Economics and Statistics, 2 important programs to ensure that that particular sector thrives with the right manpower. And also CBC, that is the competence-based curriculum. We are focusing on creating manpower at the postgraduate level to deal with harnessing and utilization of the various technologies which exist to enhance and scale up in harnessing the ICT area here. Then a very important program which I'm encouraging KTN staff to enroll in is leadership and accountability. This is a program that we are focusing on creating good leaders who are accountable. And here we have attracted CEOs and other leaders in the industry who have enrolled in this particular program. But now focusing into the future, Eric, is new programs. The Open University must expand, and if you look at the students we have admitted here, some of the limitations because of the programs that we are offering. So we have developed and submitted for consideration additional 20 programs, 19 precisely because one had already been submitted but not mounted. And these programs include Bachelor of Commerce and Management, and several of them in economics and data science, looking at the economics aspects and data science matching that, and Bachelor of Course in Computer Science being a technology university, Mathematics and Computational Analytics, which is another area of interest, and very importantly, which is very close to our president, Bachelor of Nursing. We want to expand the opportunities for students to come on board in nursing. Interactive media is another area because we believe with the better model of the digital superhighway and the creative economy, we need to empower people with the skills to deal with interactive media. And another program under the bachelor's is educational mathematics and computational statistics, because we believe there is cross-sharing of disciplines and those skills are required. We also have master's programs which are coming up in September, Master of Commerce and Business Administration. We realized that most of our students are aspiring to be leaders of the industry, and that means they quickly want to get into the master's programs. And also most of the teachers that we talked to already have bachelor's degrees and they want to get into masters as they scale through their careers, and that's why we are focusing on several master's programs in education leadership, masters in artificial intelligence, masters in cybersecurity and data forensics, masters in learning design and technology, master's degree in digital services management, master's degree in data science, master's degree in technology education, and we have 3 postgraduate or PhD programs in commerce and management, education, leadership and policy, and technology education. All these programs we are offering here, 19 of them, are informed by the needs that we have established out there. We've done a survey. We have talked to our potential clients, and they have told us that they want these programs, postgraduate programs, undergraduate, which are besides the ones we are offering right now. So from as early as September, latest the end of this year, around November, these programs should be available for our students. So we are now going to expand our enrollment in bigger proportions.
I'm curious.
Yes.
You mentioned a bachelor in nursing.
Yes. Good.
Where will you employ your practicums? Because nursing, yes, there's a theoretical aspect of it, yes, but then there's the part where you actually have to put into practice the theory.
Very good. Thank you so much for that question. It's one of the areas that we must do well. That's the area of setting up partners and collaborators with us. And you may realize that one of the programs that was chartered together, or rather was approved together with the charter, is Bachelor of Agriculture and Biosystems Technology. But we did not mount that program because we needed to set up the partners with us. So nursing, we have started discussions with some of those who are offering these courses, other colleges, other collaborators, to enter into MOU for the students to get into internship as required. Most of the teaching, of course, is in virtual mode, and when they need to go out there and do the practice, we are entering into MOUs and partnership with our sister institutions who are offering this course. But also, we have invested heavily on technology, simulation, which is one of the most powerful ways of teaching these courses. Just like a simulator for an aircraft, which students must go through in a very virtual situation before they get into the aircraft. That's the same thing we are doing here. There will be a lot of virtual opportunities for the students before they get into the practical aspects with our collaborators, whom we shall enter into MOUs with.
You see, does this then provide an opportunity for other institutions that already have a practical, meaning a health facility, to partner with you? Why I ask the question is, if I look at the current model, the partnerships tend to be with level 6, maybe some level 5 hospitals. But what about, given the nature of nursing and what it is, any level of hospital that admits patients would be in a position to offer the practicum? And given our population, just the sheer numbers of people we have, it also means that by dint of that, there will be people in large numbers who are unwell, people on whom you can ply the trade of what you've been learning. So is this an opportunity to expand that capacity so that institutions that already exist to provide care and treatment then also becoming teaching universities? Facilities, sorry.
We shall be glad to enter into such arrangement, so that it becomes the other way. They are able to provide one aspect of the entire training program, and we provide the other.
Yes.
So that is great, and we are exploring various options. The option where the institutions which are already offering those programs, not necessarily to degree level. Like many hospitals I know in this country, they train their nurses and give them certificates or diplomas, but not necessarily degrees. We can now utilize those opportunities which already exist and leverage and upscale to degree level, because as we are approved, we shall be seeking approval to offer at degree level. So that will be a very good partnership, adding value to where already there is an existing framework and infrastructure. Yes.
Do you have partnerships for any of the practical aspects of the programs that are ongoing right now that you can tell us? So this is where we are sending our students for practical.
Yes, we already have. We are in the process of establishing that, and I don't think it's right for me to start discussing that, because right now we are on the second semester. The practicals are coming in the second year of the various programs we are offering, and we are in advanced stage of setting up those MOUs. And maybe next time, please invite me. I bring them along with me.
How will quality be assured?
Very good question. And I said one of the criteria or one of the principles of the Open University, number 5 principle, is quality. Quality assurance is a process and a whole chain or cycle, if I may. It begins from the choice of the programs, so that you don't choose programs that will not attract effective interests among those who are taking those programs, and then you end up having mediocre at the end. So you choose the right programs, you have the right skilled manpower to develop those curricula. Once that has happened and approved by the Commission for University Education, you have achieved a very important milestone, because there you're seeing a tripartite arrangement: the university, the experts, and the Commission for University Education. The next stage now is how you develop the content. This content, which for our case, and is good, must be approved by the Commission for University Education. The public universities, apparently right now, most of them, other universities, the content is not necessarily approved. But for the Open University, the Commission approved the content. Why? Because it exists in a virtual learning management system. So when they are coming to check on your capability to host that program, they not only check the curriculum, but they check the hosting environment, in this case the digital environment. So that content, which must be very well done, well curated, using experts which bring in areas such as virtual models, simulations, videos, audios, narratives, and all other assets required to infuse into this content to enrich it, because it must be interactive. It's going to exist on its own. You are imagining a lecturer or a professor in the content. That's a very interesting way of looking at it. the lecturer or the professor is not there out there physically. He or she brings in his knowledge and it's infused, encapsulated in this content. That very serious process is expensive, but we do it, and we have done it. The programs that right now are existing have gone through that very important quality assurance stage. The next is now to digitize this content, to digitalize. Digitalization, not digitize. Digitalization means now you are bringing in all this asset into digital mode. And once that has happened, been approved also, now you get into the implementation of that content, which we are, a process we have followed meticulously. Implementation means we deliver using the virtual learning management system synchronously and asynchronously. We use discussion forums to ensure that the students are engaged. We use design concepts. We use reimagination concepts. We use follow-up and hand-holding approaches to these students. Some of them are quite young, just graduates from high school. We ensure that they are fully engaged in the digital learning process and create what we call a student portfolio, which is assessed at the end of the semester by the lecturer who is in charge of that particular program. That student portfolio, very important, because you're able to see the interaction that happened, the discussion that went on, and that is captured automatically using artificial intelligence techniques. And that enables us to appreciate the learning process and what the student has mastered. And then at the end, yes, sir.
You mentioned simulation. It sparked a thought in my mind. Now, with regards to those who are part of your teaching staff, how exactly do you get your staff to be able to ply their trade in a manner that is effective using this mode of learning? And how do you determine that their way of going about it meets the demand and the criteria and the expectation of what a course like that ought to provide when it's in the mode that we are now referring to as open learning?
That's a very good question. It has come up many times. In fact, we've even been cautioned that ensure that the lecturers or the professors are able to respond to students' questions on time. We are using technology. And Moodle, which is our learning management system platform, has these assets which we have customized to help us manage and monitor the interactivity of every student together with the lecturer. So with that, and together with a committed set of professors, we are able to handhold the students and ensure that we have them learning and having the right skills. But however, just the lecturers are trained. Every lecturer who has come on board goes through a rigorous process of training. We call that e-learning, learning how to e-learn and e-deliver. So that is a mandatory program that we have set up. Whether you're a professor, whatever university, we are holding you up to come and teach for us. You have to go through a mandatory program of how to teach online.
Good.
What is the portfolio of those who are not in Kenya look like? A diaspora population of students?
Good. Thank you, Madam Oko, for that question. And that is a good one in the sense that we are having students from 18 different countries currently. Countries such as Tanzania, we have a few students from there, United Arab Emirates, Ethiopia, Algeria, Netherlands, United States of America, Uganda, Kuwait, Germany, South Korea, and many others. So the question maybe is also, how do you ensure that these students, when we are going to have practicals, they also have an opportunity to go through the practical sessions? We are learning from other institutions which have been there, such as IGNO, the Indira Gandhi National Open University, the largest university in the world, open university in the world, with 3 million students, 1 million every year.
Wow.
And I've been there, sponsored by the government of the Republic of Kenya, to and see what happens. And what we learned is that they're using their embassies across the world, the globe, to identify institutions where students can go and have their practicals. And they gave us interesting stories on how that has been a very effective model. So for us at the Open University, we are exploring how we shall amalgamate students from different countries and create an opportunity for them to go through that process. However, if we are not ready yet for those students in diaspora, we will ensure that we concentrate on those students in Kenya for certain programs if we feel that will not meet the threshold of the quality assurance required for those students in the diaspora. However, just to come directly to your question, related to that question is about exams. How do we ensure that students in the diaspora at different time zones are able to come up and sit for the exams when it's offered? We have devised a model of kind of examinations on demand, and students in a cohort can be given an exam, and another cohort can come together and given another exam of equal quality. And this is because thanks to our examination bank that we have very quickly developed, we have a large database of examination banks for all the programs that we are already offering, the 6 or so of them, and lecturers are able to develop these examinations within a very short period of time. And while I'm there, let me note that part of the quality assurance stage that was about mentioned, the last stage, is examinations. How do we ensure that the examination process is secured? As already mentioned, we have conducted the first semester exams, which was very successful by all standards of what we know, how others did theirs during the COVID. We can say we did excellent. There were not many challenges. We used technology to monitor the students. We had authentic exams. Authentic exams, those exams that you're able to measure mastery of the skills and not necessarily memorization of the facts. And that also is another area that the Open University is very good at, authentic examination process. As part of quality assurance, the examination must be conducted well. You must be assured of the technology you're using. If you are locking the screens and all these other areas of emerging technology for examination offerings must be put in place. And we have done that at the Open University. And finally, we ensure that the process of evaluation, both formative and summative, formative is the continuous and summative as the end, is of the highest quality, using the right professors and the right systems so that no student is disenfranchised. And there's also, of course, the usual externalization of, which is mandatory anyway, usual externalization of the various courses, examination that we have done. And this external by dint of the fact that it's not our staff who are carrying out that, from an external eye to come and see what we are doing.
Okay. Somebody's asking, so apart from the money side,
Yes.
where you say, okay, so this one more affordable than the others, what would you say distinguishes the Open University of Kenya from the other public universities and private universities in the country?
Very good. I'll go through that again. Many distinguishing characteristics. The first is, as I've mentioned, inclusivity. And inclusivity has been implemented through a flexible admission criteria, which has been approved by the Commission for University Education, recognizing prior learning. And that is underlying principle. The second is the flexible mode of delivery, using technology and allowing students to come in, to get out at their own pace. And also enabling paced learning, as well as anywhere, anytime delivery of content, accessing all these using state-of-the-art technology. The Open University is also open in terms of flexible fees, which you have mentioned here. We allow students to learn, and they pay before they do their exams. Most institutions say you have to pay upfront, but for us, we are doing it the other way around. You get the services, and we ask you to pay at the end. But also, there are aspects, yes, there are aspects of the issue of stepping in, stepping out. What do I mean by that? When conditions are favorable, you are able to get in and continue learning. When the conditions such as the opportunities to access, the opportunities for you to have time, you are allowed to get out and come in at your own time without any penalty.
I see.
And many other, of course.
Okay.
Sorry.
Professor Elijah Omwenga, the acting Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Kenya, has been our guest, talking about this university, chartered and already offering various courses, 1,400 students already enrolled, and he's been our guest. Keep it here for more conversations.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.